Tears welled in her eyes as she protested. "It's hurting. Stop it. I don't want to do it again." Her pleas fell on deaf ears as Tom, caught up in his own performance, continued regardless.
This is African folktales and history.
On a bright Saturday afternoon, Lily and Tom settled on the plush sofa couch in their cozy living room. The TV screen flickered with vibrant colors as they prepared to watch a series they had stumbled upon while flipping channels. The siblings, 10-year-old Lily and 8-year-old Tom, often spent their weekends together, sharing laughs and bonding over their favorite shows. At first, they sat side by side, their legs dangling off the edge of the couch. Tom leaned forward, his elbows resting on his knees, his eyes glued to the screen. Lily, on the other hand, reclined slightly, her hands clutching a pillow as she tried to make herself comfortable. As the series progressed, an intense scene unfolded. The actors were arguing dramatically, their voices rising with tension. Lily adjusted her position, sitting cross-legged now, her expression turning serious. "This is getting interesting," Tom whispered, leaning back and then quickly forward again, as if unable to decide how to position himself. But then came a moment that made Lily uneasy. The characters on screen began to behave in a way that reminded her of something her mother had warned them about. Lily sat up straight, her brows furrowing. She shifted closer to Tom and said, "This content feels like it's for adults. I've seen how the actors are acting, and Mom said we shouldn't watch series like this." Tom, oblivious to her concern, waved her off with excitement lighting up his face. He turned to her, his eyes sparkling. "No, this is a good scene. Don't have any doubt," he said, his voice brimming with enthusiasm as he adjusted himself again, this time lying on his stomach with his chin propped up on his hands. Lily crossed her arms, leaning back into the couch. "I don't know, Tom. Maybe we should switch to something else." Tom shook his head vigorously, now sitting with his legs tucked under him. "Just watch. Trust me, the next part is going to be amazing." For a while, Tom turned off TV and turned to her sister Lily with excited smile. "I think it's just something what adults do. It doesn't look bad. We should try it too." Lily's eyes widened. "What do you mean by we try it?" she asked. A voice barely above the whispered joy was confident as usual. "I think it's something we're supposed to do. Let us try it like they did." Lily felt shame. She didn't know what to say, but she wanted to trust Tom. But something inside her told it was not such a good idea. She still wanted to seem scared. Maybe it will be fine after all. Tom seemed so sure about it. "Okay, she said hesitantly, but only for a little while. They went into the bedroom and tried to perform what they had seen in the video. But the moment Lily attempted it, she felt an uncomfortable pain in her body parts. It was not like the games they usually played or funny things they usually do together. But things took a turn when Tom, emboldened by his size advantage, insisted Lily participate in a scene that made her deeply uncomfortable. Tears welled in her eyes as she protested. "It's hurting. Stop it. I don't want to do it again." Her pleas fell on deaf ears as Tom, caught up in his own performance, continued regardless. Desperate, Lily tried to confide in her mother later that evening. She called repeatedly, her small voice trembling with each ring, but her mother remained oblivious, headphones clamped over her ears as she edited YouTube videos for her side hustle. Lily's attempts to explain the situation were drowned out by the sounds of editing software and upbeat background music. Frustrated and alone, Lily ran to Mrs. Gable, their kind, elderly neighbor, a woman known for her wisdom and understanding. With tears streaming down her face, Lily recounted what had happened, her words painting a vivid picture of Tom's actions. Mrs. Gable, her face etched with concern, listened patiently, her comforting presence a stark contrast to the neglect Lily had experienced at home. Without hesitation, Mrs. Gable took Lily's hand, leading her back to her house. The scene that greeted them upon arrival was eerily similar to Lily's earlier failed attempts at communication. Her mother was hunched over her laptop, completely absorbed in her work. Mrs. Gable wasted no time. She laid out the situation calmly but firmly, her voice expressing the gravity of the situation. Lily's mother, finally looking up, her eyes widening in shock and disbelief, listened to Mrs. Gable and her daughter's account. The expression on her face shifted from initial surprise to deep concern, her brow furrowed with worry. "We've been so focused on work," she whispered, her voice laced with regret, her eyes fixed on Lily's tear-stained face. Mrs. Gable gently added, "It's important to prioritize your children. Work should never come before their well-being." The parents, faces etched with remorse, knew they had severely underestimated the impact of their absence and lack of attention. They promised to address the issue immediately, their holiday's carefree atmosphere a distant memory replaced by a stark realization of their responsibilities as parents.